I've dated over 1,000 women, so you don't have to. And I'm going to tell you guys the brutal truth about it. Brutal truth about the game, about dating, about women, about female psychology, female nature. I mean, it got to a point where I literally was a voluntary celibate. And I have been multiple times in my life because I was so over fornication. That's the, okay, I've taken it to that extent, just to give you a perspective, okay? A little TMI, but just to give you a perspective, I've dated a ton of women, guys, to the point where I wanted to detox. So let me give you the brutal truth. Women operate in a very weird way. They're like cats, right? They're like, you ever try to pet a cat? What's it do? It fucking runs away, or it claws the furniture and says clean it up, or it shits somewhere. They're just like women, okay? That's female behavior. If you try to pet a cat, or if you try to pursue a woman, they're going to run away, they're going to shit somewhere, and they're going to claw your furniture, okay? That's the exact truth. So what does that mean? What's their psychology behind it? They believe, deep down, that men should be better than them, and they want to date up. And they want a guy that's better than them in every regard. And so that behavior of chasing them does not align with that subconscious desire. If you're truly better than something, if you're truly him, why would you ever be chasing something? It doesn't make any energetic sense. It's not aligned. The better guy sits back and has them come to him. And we're going to get into how to do that. But that is the behavior of that person. Think about it. They want someone better than them. So why would a guy better than them be chasing them? It's a conundrum. It doesn't make any sense. And so what will trick guys up is you'll have women say, well, I want a guy to do this and that and this and that and this and that. And it's all related to chasing them. But then they get over you because they say things they don't actually want. They are a regurgitation machine. Okay, they regurgitate things they heard on the internet, feminism, online. They don't really have individual thoughts. But what always wins in the end is their subconscious desire, their deep down subliminal beliefs in their biology, which is they want someone better than them. Which is why they'll have a guy do everything they say they want them to do and then leave him. And then leave or cheat, because that's how the game is actually played. And so you have to understand something about women. They're going to say things basically all the time that they don't want. And they're going to do that to test you because they want to test if you're going to cave. They're constantly testing your masculine frame, if you're going to bend. You can't ever bend, and you can't ever believe anything they really say. And does that sound optimistic? Not the most, but hey, I want you equipped. Because when you understand the game, it gets easier to play. And the game is way more fun when you're good at it. Trust me. Dating sucks if you can't date. But once you get good at dating, once you understand women, it becomes very fun, very easy. And you can find someone or multiple people, whatever it is that you want to do. So that's something that is really important to know. You can never chase them. You can never do what they want you to do. You can never believe anything they really say. Go by their actions, guys. Their actions are hardwired in their subconscious mind. Words are easy to say, right? Talk is cheap. They can say all these random talking points they heard from some TikTok and whatnot and blabber. How do they physically react with behavior when you do what they want you to do versus not? And you will see clear as day that their behavior always leans towards the guy that doesn't bend, that doesn't buck, that doesn't cave and do whatever it is that they want them to do, and leads the movement forward than the alternative. You'll always come to understand this. Something else you really need to understand from all my ridiculous dating experience is there's a lot of shitty people out there, and you need thick skin, okay? You can be the perfect guy, the perfect nice guy, treat everybody amazing. And you can get fucking steamrolled by some random bitch. And the reason that is most women all women can't handle any sort of trauma. And all women have been through traumatic events. So what does that say about women? They're cooked, bro. They are, by the time they're in their 20s, they have dad problems, they have mom problems, they were bullied, they were anorexic, they tried to commit suicide, they get cheated on. I mean, this stuff happens to basically, they got raped. This stuff happens to basically every woman. I'm not saying it's a good thing, obviously, to clarify. But these things like permanently imprint their mind and their beliefs to a point where they become different people, to a point where some become selfish. Like a lot of them don't heal their trauma. Not to sound a little homosexual, but you have to accept your past to be able to move forward as an individual. Most women are incapable. That trauma is stamped, cheated on. Dad left them. They got raped. They got bullied, right? It's stamped on their mind forever. and it affects how they see the world. And so a lot of women become users and abusers of men emotionally. They're trying to fill the void that was emptied with this trauma with male attention, which is why you have thirst traps, which is why you see all of them do this type of behavior. It's to fill a void. And so a lot of women will just use you to try and fill that void, but that's not the thing that's going to fill the void. Obviously, you and I both know that. And so you run into a lot of shitty women naturally, right? Very few women can put their trauma to the side and give you the best version of themselves. What I'm trying to say is the more you date, the more thick skin you need to have. You need to have things just roll off your back. They bail, don't care. Reschedule, don't care. They act weird, don't care. You can't care. You can't care. And another thing about caring too is if you care, you're emotional. Women don't like that. Women don't like emotional men at all. Okay? At all. The only person you can open up to is your mother. It's the only woman. Hopefully. Unless you have a shitty mother. But hopefully. And so caring equals emotion. Emotion equals repulsed. That's the equation for women. So you can't be emotional and you can't care about the shit they do ever. Ever. If anything, just block them. Don't get into arguments with them over text. Don't go back and forth with paragraphs. Don't do none of that. It's all for their attention. When they start a fight, it's for them. They're feeding that void. You have to understand. Like, you'll have a girl that never got any attention in her whole life, let's say, or had a weird relationship with her father. And now the only way she feels content is by fighting. And they're addicted to that. Some of them are. And so you'll have them just randomly start fights or be unhappy or demand things of you just to fight with you, just to feel good. That's how fucking twisted some of them are. You have to know this game. And when I come out with my community in my course, I'm going to have literally an entire module on female manipulation because you need to be aware of these things. And so that's a long way of me saying, have thick ass skin. Okay, you can't give a shit about anything they do. Move on. They cheat on you. Peace. Their loss. Right? You're always gaining in value. Number 3, I guess I'm counting them. You need ambition. You need to be somebody that is moving forward. You need other purposes in your life other than women. This is not only going to be more attractive to them, but it's going to make your life better. Women cannot be the number one thing in your life ever, at all, ever. It should be like number 4. Okay, it should be something you don't give a shit about. Here's why. For them, it's way more attractive. They know a busy guy. They know a guy that doesn't respond all the time. They love that. They don't want to be number 1 at all. They think they do, right? Feminism beliefs. Regurgitation again. But they don't. They want to be number 4 or number 2 or number 3. When you put a woman first in your life, they shrivel up. They get disgusted. They're like, what the fuck? This guy's a bum. You need to have a purpose. You need to be doing something with your life. You need a vision for the next 10 years, right? And you got to be working towards that. They love that. Not only that, it's better for you. When you have something to occupy your mind, you won't be emotional. You're not going to react. You're not going to be sitting by your phone saying, why isn't she responding? It's going to avoid you of so much bad behavior that you're doing that's repulsing them. Clinginess, sitting by your phone, trying to make plans all the time. It's going to take all that away because you don't have the time anymore. Like, I don't have the time to go through all my messages. I don't have the time to respond to them all the time. And they love that. That is the freaking point. And so it puts you in the right energetic behavior of you pursuing something and them pursuing you, which is the nature of male and female dynamics that has to be there for the most healthy. Now, something to mention about long-term relationships, because I've been dating, and I've also been, I was going to say I'm a player, but I don't really want that label. I've had short-term and long-term multi-year relationships with women. Let me tell you something about long-term relationships that could really benefit you. People change, and women change. And women are very easily impressionable. So what I mean by that is you really need discernment over where she goes, who she hangs out with, and what information she consumes. I can hang out with somebody and they can tell me something and it will not penetrate my mind. It will not change my worldview at all. I will just listen to it and be like, that's interesting. When a woman hears their friend talking about something, it's now their belief as well. Their mind is not Fort Knox, okay? It's not a safe area. It is an open fucking vessel for anybody that speaks. Okay? That is the reality of the woman's mind. And so when they hang out with somebody, and I just made a short form video on this, let's say they hang out with their friend. Her friend is a boyfriend. And I'm going to tell you a story after this to anchor this in that is so fucking important to know because it happened to me in real time. But for the example, she goes to dinner with a friend. Her friend's in a relationship. They just went to Bora Bora. Now, your girlfriend that you've been treating well and that has been happy now is pissed off at you because they went to Bora Bora and you guys haven't been to Bora Bora. I'm not kidding. This is how they operate. And so she's going to get home in an attitude. And you're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Right? What is it now? Like, what is it now? And she's going to be like, I want to take a vacation. And I'm like, I need to work. Like, I want to work. What do you mean? What do you mean you want a vacation? Where is this coming from? Who got in your head? Because they're that impressionable. Now it starts a fight. And now she's winning because she got your attention that I would normally never give her because I have to calm her fucking ass down. And now she won. You see the games? This is female manipulation. And now she won because she got your attention, which is the only thing she cares about. Let me tell you a story to drive this home. One of my long-term relationships, I went from corporate America, I went from job to entrepreneur. When I made that switch, I became much tighter with money because I had to invest a ton of money. It was a physical product company. So I had to invest a ton of money into product. And we stopped going to like really nice dinners, and she would pick up something from time to time. Guess how long this lasted? She starts a fight with me. I'm not even kidding. 1 week after doing this, because she paid for one of my drinks. That was like $15. She starts a fight with me. Oh, my other friends, I'm not going to say their names, obviously, but like my other friends in their relationship, like he pays for everything all the time. Like she never pays for anything. I'm like, I'm starting a fucking business. Like you are the most shallow piece of shit woman I've ever met in my entire life that you can't pick up one drink because I'm investing tens of thousands of dollars into a business. And I've taken you around the world, by the way. I took her everywhere. Took her to Cabo, took her on yachts, took her to Miami. I'm like, I've taken you around the world, and now you have to pick up a little bit of the slack because I'm starting a business at 24 years old, and you're going to fucking sit here and tell me that I don't take care of you. Broke up with her very shortly after that. Of course she apologized. Of course she cried because I'm always right and I always fucking am. But shortly after that, I was like, you suck. You're dead weight. You're insecure. You suck. You're a terrible woman. I'm done. And I left her. That's what happens. That's exactly what will happen. So women change. That's a long way of saying women change, and you need to be really, really cautious of who they spend time with, because one interaction, new belief. One comment from a friend, they're mad at you. This is exactly what happens. And so you really need to, you should have full control over who she spends time with. You should have I'll get into that in another video. But you have to be aware of these things because that's how they manipulate. And again, the more purpose-driven you are, the less they can penetrate you. If I'm busy all the time on my work, their bullshit can't hit me because I'm not thinking about it, not focused on it. That's how you shield yourself from this bullshit. I'm going to make more videos that are longer and longer. I like keeping my videos very short and concise to really get to the point. In the comments, if you have questions or topics or situations that I could react to and I can give my advice on, drop them below. But this is always going to be the real game. This is the brutal and honest truth about dating from literally thousands of women and hundreds of thousands of hours spent with women. I know them inside and out, and this is the real game. Thank you for watching.